Postmenopausal women with sleep issues may blame their symptoms only on hormone changes, but doctors say it could also be sleep apnea. The likelihood of sleep apnea in postmenopausal women is 1 in 3. That's a startling statistic. Joining us now is Harbor Health's Director of Women's Health, Dr. Meagan Williams. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us this midday.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to start by asking a little bit about what happens to a woman's hormones during menopause.
Yeah, so menopause literally refers to someone's final menstrual period. So it's that natural transition when periods stop for good. And in the years leading up to that, that's like called perimenopause. And there's like a lot of fluctuations in the hormones that ovaries produce, specifically estrogen and progesterone. And then after menopause, those levels stay low indefinitely.
And why can those hormonal changes cause sleep apnea in women?
I think we're still figuring out all the different pathways by which that happens, but generally it's thought that those low levels of estrogen and progesterone, we need those to help keep our like our throat muscles, our upper airway, the tone, so those hormones maintain the tone and also our respiratory drive to breathe. So once those hormone levels start fluctuating and then drop, kind of like destabilizes this environment, and when we sleep, that can manifest as sleep apnea.
And why do men and women have different symptoms, or why may they have different symptoms that point to sleep apnea?
Well, one of the cardinal symptoms of sleep apnea is just feeling tired, excessive daytime sleepiness, and that happens to everyone, regardless of your gender. But beyond that, men are more likely to report things that are classic for sleep apnea, like snoring, or their bed partner seeing them have an apneic event, like they stop breathing or choke or gasp for air. Women might have those symptoms, but they also more commonly report things like insomnia, or mood disturbances or trouble paying attention and concentrating.
And I would imagine because those symptoms seem like they could be other things, I would imagine women are often underdiagnosed for sleep apnea.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, those symptoms and insomnia and mood and attention all are symptoms that we can see from menopause. And so there's a ton of overlap between sleep apnea and menopause. Um, and fortunately, menopause is really growing on the radar of like what primary care docs are considering as the cause of those symptoms for women. But I would say like sleep apnea is still something we need to catch up to. So that's not as often on our radar when people come in, especially women, reporting that.
And why is it so important for physicians to be more aware of that connection between menopause and sleep apnea?
Well, I think the connection is important because partially we might not diagnose it if we don't think about it. And sleep apnea can have some really huge health consequences. Some of it is just around quality of life, which is super important. But especially like when sleep apnea becomes more severe, it can affect multiple organ systems. So there's like some neuropsychiatric things to take into consideration, like issues with concentration and memory, mood disorders like depression. And then we really think a lot about cardiovascular disease. So higher rates of high blood pressure, strokes, cardiovascular disease, and then there's also some metabolic consequences like higher rates of diabetes and liver disease with untreated sleep apnea.
So many important things to watch out for, so much important information. Dr. Williams, thank you so much for joining us this midday.
Yes, so glad to be here. Thank you.